Welcome back. Now, Argentina's President Javier Milei will submit a bill to try in absentia the Iranian suspects behind the bombing of a Jewish community centre in Buenos Aires 30 years ago today. The attack on the Amir Centre killed 85 people and wounded more than 300. Earlier this year, Argentina's top court blamed Iran for the attack and said it was carried out by Hezbollah terrorists. And today, Milei participated in a ceremony to honour the victims. Let's listen to what he had to say.
We have proposed a break with what different governments have done concerning the Amia case in the last 30 years. We are promoting a law to extend the trial in absentia to severe crimes, among which is the financing of terrorism. It will make it possible to try the leaders of the Iranian regime involved in the bombing. While they may never be able to serve a sentence, they will not be able to escape the eternal condemnation of a free court proving their guilt to the entire world.
To talk more about that, we're joined now by Jason Brodsky, Policy Director at the group United Against a Nuclear Iran. Thank you very much for being with us, Jason. So the previous Argentine government was accused, wasn't it, of covering up Iran's role in the Amir bombings. Do you think we are on the verge of seeing some sort of justice for the victims 30 years on?
Well, it's great to be with you, Laura. I think the new government of Javier Milei has made great strides in this matter. He recently blacklisted Hamas as a terrorist organization. I would like to see the Argentinian government blacklist the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization, just as the United States has done. It's long overdue. Let's not forget that the IRGC played a role in greenlighting and planning that operation. There was a meeting in August 1993 in Mashhad that was presided over the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic and included Mohsen Rezai, who was commander-in-chief of the IRGC at the time. And I think it is warranted from Argentina's perspective.
We've just heard about an Iranian plot to kill former US President Donald Trump. We regularly hear about the attempted murder of Iranian dissidents in both the United States and Europe. What does this tell us, Jason, about how Iran has managed to spread its kind of nefarious activities around the world 30 years after the Amir bombings?
Well, Laura, this is deeply disturbing. I think that this threat stream is nothing new. It's been going on for years. But the problem has been that the United States has been playing defense where we need to be going on offense. The response from the United States and its allies in Europe to a whole host of these attacks has been a strongly worded press statement, warning of consequences, a few symbolic sanctions, and maybe an indictment here or there. But beyond that, there are no policy consequences beyond the law enforcement context to these plots. And that has to change in order to shift the calculus in Tehran. I would recall for your viewers in 1993, when there was an assassination attempt or plot that was thwarted at the last minute by the United States by Iraqi intelligence against then former President George H.W. Bush when he was visiting Kuwait in 1993, then President Clinton fired cruise missiles at Iraqi intelligence headquarters. And so I think that it is just basically a sad state of affairs where our deterrence has been wildly eroded with respect to the Iranian regime, and we're allowing them to undertake all these operations on U.S. soil, European soil, without any response, and that has to change.
Well, let's talk about the Iran's nuclear program, Jason, because we've got some reports that the Biden administration warned Iran privately over its nuclear program just last month. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think once again, this fits into what I was just saying. Our deterrence with respect to the Islamic Republic has been badly eroded. Private warnings are not going to deter Tehran. And I have questions about this report with it suggesting that U.S. officials were relieved or satisfied with the response that they received from the Islamic Republic. Given the history of Tehran's obfuscation over the nuclear file over decades, are we really going to take the Islamic Republic at its word? on these issues. So that is something that I had a question about in this report. And so private warnings are not deterrents. We have to start acting tangibly in order to deter Tehran from making these steps. And they're all occurring in the weapons group of the Organization for Defensive Innovation and Research, which Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, who was assassinated in November 2020, had previously presided over. And that has been a black box for a long time. And we need to start turning our attention more to that group.
And finally, we're getting a sense of deja vu, I feel, at the moment, Jason. We've got this new president in Iran, President Pezeshkian. He's been described as a moderate, much as President Hassan Rouhani was described as a moderate several years ago. And now the regime says it wants to get back in and pursue nuclear talks with the West. I mean, is this just history repeating itself?
It is history repeating itself. It's also an attempt by the supreme leader to put a smiling face in the presidency, saying all the right things in order to basically try to divide and conquer the Iranian opposition, and also to try to thwart pressure campaigns that may be undertaken by the United States and its allies on the world stage in advance of what Tehran thinks is a probable victory by Donald Trump in the presidential contest. It has been preparing and operating under that assumption for some time. An informal working group, according to the New York Times, in Iran's foreign ministry has been established to plan for that. So this is their operating assumption, and you can see why they're putting someone like Masoud Pezeshkian in this chair. It was not an organic democratic contest, and we need to stop behaving as if this is a Western democratic electoral result. It's not. This is an authoritarian regime, and they do authoritarian things as a result. So that is something I think that the world needs to understand, and this is just another show that the Islamic Republic has put on in the past, and we shouldn't be fooled by the the warm words and the mild rhetoric coming from Tehran. The brutality of the regime remains the same.
Jason, thank you very much. Jason Brodsky there at United Against a Nuclear Iran.